Hey Scrappers, it's Tom from the iScrap app, and in today's episode of Scrapulator, this episode is sponsored by RRCats.com. Buying catalytic converters nationwide. You've heard us talk about them before. As one of our sister companies, they do all of the things to make sure that you're selling your catalytic converter correctly and that they're buying them correctly. And we really wanted to tackle head on the whole concept of what's going on for years in the catalytic converter world, especially with the thefts that are going on. You know, as we record this in 2021, we know that the prices are high, and they've been high for a couple of years. With the prices being high, that always attracts thieves and criminals. It happened back in 2008, 2010, when the copper markets went up. People were cutting air conditioning lines, trying to cut live copper lines. I saw people being electrocuted and even melted when they were cutting those live lines. And as metal prices increase and it makes it easier for people to make money by stealing stuff, you know, the team at RRCats.com, we really look into these different laws, because the last thing that we need to do is help anyone that's stealing stuff, because we do so much good business with everyday solid scrappers, auto wreckers, car dealers, people that are changing these at auto shops. We have no reason to enable or help people with metal thefts. And we just wanted to talk about some of these things so you can hear from our mouth things that we look for, and then help you get a little better idea about the catalytic converter recycling world, things that you should keep in mind, and really just kind of tackle it head on. So let's start right from the top. If you want to sell a cat to rrcats.com, or really any scrapyard, you're going to need a government issue ID. And if you're here in the United States, you're going to need a United States ID. If you're in Canada, Canadian ID. If you're selling out of the country, maybe you live in Canada and you're down in the US, you want to make sure you have your passport, because the one thing that scrapyards are not going to do or shouldn't do if you're dealing with the right type of company like rrcats.com is just take it with no ID. Because that means that they could be enabling so many other people. And as we have worked with hundreds of law enforcement agencies across the country to ensure that we're helping them catch people, we want to continue to take those IDs at rrcats.com, because we're not going to buy or take your cats otherwise. And if you send them to us and you're not going to give us an ID, that means you probably got it the wrong way, and we don't want to be part of those different actions. Now, why people steal cats is to make more money, but one thing that we've heard is the scrap yards should be to blame. Well, how should we be to blame? If I'm sitting in my yard not knowing who's going to contact me, not knowing where they got scrap, we're not showing people how to jack cars up on the side of the street and cut their cats. We're just talking about different ways that we buy catalytic converters, because we buy from so many legitimate people. And we've seen messages. I had a message earlier today where someone was blaming us for people stealing cats. Well, when copper prices were high, it's not the scrapyard's fault. When you have commodities that trade at different levels, what happened if copper goes down to 50 cents a pound? I bet you anything that you're going to see the theft go down. If you see national catalytic converter prices going from an average of $200 down to $50, I bet you see the catalytic converter thefts going down as well. And maybe you see paper prices going crazy, and all of a sudden people are stealing reams of paper or TVs or phones. If you're a thief, you're always going to steal whatever you can make money on. So whether it's a cat, copper, paper, iPhones, televisions, it doesn't matter. What we don't want to do here is help that activity, because we don't need to. So when you're working with a team like at rrcats.com, what do we do to ensure that we're doing good business? Multiple things. Document everything. We don't quote over the phone, because we want to have things documented through text messages, through emails. This way, if you are someone that's stealing something, we can help law enforcement with detailed information ahead of time. What else do we do? Pictures, pictures, pictures. Videos, videos, videos. When material comes to our yard, not only do we record the material getting unloaded from the different delivery trucks, We also record it going onto our tables, and every single package that is opened has a video stamped to it, has multiple pictures stamped to it, has online transactions, a physical receipt, and we never buy cats or pay for them without having people's IDs, because the last thing that we need is to be put at risk ourselves. Rockaway Recycling's been in business since 1977, so, being in business for that many years, you need to know what to do correct, and putting yourself, your company, we have many people that work at RRCats.com, many people that work at the iScrap app, and there's no reason for us to put ourselves or our team members and their livelihoods at risk. So at the end of the day, while I might be the owner or someone might be the manager, why would you want to put so many other people and their families at risk over a stupid catalytic converter? There's no amount of money that we could make on that that's going to warrant putting people's livelihoods and companies' reputations at risk. If you look at RRCats, you say, how do I know that I'm going to get paid? We always tell people to check out the reviews. When you see reviews from hundreds or thousands of people with glowing 5-star reviews, that certainly would make you feel better. And with the different catalytic converter thefts that's out there, we have helped so many law enforcement departments learn about catalytic converter theft, learn about what criminals are looking for, that we want to give this information to them to help them catch the bad guy so we don't get hurt ourselves. In early 2021, we were part of a video with a group called The Verge. And in The Verge's video, they were talking about the pricing of palladium. It was funny because when they came here, they were asking where cats come from, what ways we do to deter catalytic converter theft. And we talked about some of this stuff either on camera or off camera. But at the end of the video that they published, and we'll make sure that we have a link if we don't already have it. At the end of the video, the host talked about his dad having his catalytic converter cut off within the 1 week of them leaving Rockaway Recycling and posting the video online. Just kind of wrapping everything up and bringing it home. His dad had his car at an auto place to get fixed. Someone came overnight, cut the cat, and there it went. Just like that, because it's that easy. And whoever does these things, we hope they get caught, we hope they get prosecuted, and we hope they get taken off of the streets, because with so many good people out there doing honest, everyday hard work and good business, the last thing that we need at RRCats.com or at iScrap is to hear about these thefts. We're going to read the articles, we're going to see the news stories, we're going to see it on the local and national news talking about high prices and high catalytic converter theft, but it's just kind of the latest trend in what people are stealing. Thieves have been around forever, whether they were stealing bread. I remember watching Disney's Aladdin, where Aladdin was stealing bread from the local market because he had to eat. Stolen apple, right? People have been stealing things since time began, but with technology the way that it is, we make sure to track all of these things, because when and if someone does sell us stolen material, we will help every single law enforcement agency that contacts us to help persecute and prosecute that person. So the last thing that we need to do is take stolen goods. At RRCats.com, the team follows every single protocol, every single operating procedure to make sure that we're protecting ourselves and protecting the thousands of good, honest customers that are selling their regularly scrapped catalytic converters to us. When we buy cats from an auto wrecker, well, they're buying those cars from the public, taking the title, putting it into their yard, cutting the cats off, and then they send them to us. So they did all of their jobs. We did our jobs because we bought from another dealer, and we have everything documented. Again, videos, pictures, print quotes, to make sure that we're really focusing on all of the right things and really pushing away all of the wrong things. And when we've spoken to different officers where they're just looking to learn about these, we try to give them guidance. But at the end of the day, a thief is a thief. And at the end of the day at RRCats.com, those are not the people that we want to buy those materials from. Now listen, we know that you probably have your opinion, whether you agree with us, you disagree with us, or you agree with certain points of what we're talking about. Regardless of what it is, I want to hear about what you're thinking about so the team here at the iScrap app can attack those problems and talk about those concerns out loud instead of them being hidden like they've been for so many years. At RRCats.com, we're bringing transparency to the catalytic converter market, we're bringing clarity, and we're bringing, most importantly, we're trying to have that very clear-cut way to sell stuff so you're really comfortable with the team knowing that we're the right people to work with. Now, scrappers, if you have questions about catalytic converters or anything else that's scrap related, you can always send us an email at info@iscrapapp.com, or of course contact through us through any of our social channels. Make sure you continue to follow our different podcasts so you can hear about the topics that we're talking about, and we'd love to hear from you with your reactions for this podcast. Until we hear from you, until next time, scrappers, I'll scrap you later.